Hey YouTube, what's going on? So for today's video I have something pretty exciting because in this box here I have my brand new GoPro Hero 9. So what we're going to get into is a quick unboxing of it, have a quick look at the camera and then get into some riding with it. Check this thing out, GoPro Hero 9 front LCD screen, removable lens on the front. The back's pretty much the same, just a bit bigger. And check this thing out. What else we get in here? Battery, meant to have improved battery life to 30%, so be able to see. Charge cable, Wii mount, just the basics. Cool Wii carry case. Alright guys, here it is on a mount. Here's a quick look at the Hero 9 logo. Something a bit interesting is the GoPro Hero 9 is actually a little bit bigger than the Hero 8, it's a bigger battery, so hopefully that does mean it has better battery life. Let's turn it on for the first time. There we go. Well, there's a front LCD screen so you can see what you're looking at. Pretty dang cool if you ask me. So what we're going to do is get into some footage from the GoPro now. Sweet, so we're now on the Hero 9 point of view and already super stoked with the LCD front screen because I can see myself, see where the camera is pointing, so I'll never cut myself out again. So the plan for today's video is pretty cool. We're just going to test out the Hero 9 as much as possible in as many ways as possible. Use a spinning mount, chest mount, head mount. Just try and test out some of the features all around some different spots in Gore. So you can get straight into it now and head to the first spot. Boom. Right, here we are. Thought what better place than the Matera Pumptrack to test out the GoPro HYPERSMOOTH for the first spot. So what we're going to do is just start with the camera on the helmet, which is on now, to try the HYPERSMOOTH for a couple laps, and we'll try the chest mount, we'll even try the spinning mount. Let's get into a head cam lap now. Alright guys, here we go. First lap and first test with the Hero 9. So stoked to see how the HYPERSMOOTH turns out. Pumping. Blast the hip. Berm. Rhythm section. Berm to berm. You. Last section, here we go. Double manual. Manual. Jumping. Woo! Stoked. Super stoked how smooth the HYPERSMOOTH looks on a helmet cam lap. I'm gonna go for a wee line with a couple tricks, see how it looks. Let's go manual around the berm. Yo, do a foot clamp over that hip. And we'll go bar to this. Yo! Try and get a wee 450 on the go. See what it's like for a spin. Woo! Almost offline. Alright team, super stoked on how good the HYPERSMOOTH looks so far for both the lap and the line. Now I'm going to check the GoPro on the chest mount to see what the difference is. Alright guys, really quick before you use the chest mount, I just want to point out another new feature of the Hero 9. So in the Hero 6, 7 and 8, you can shoot in 4 modes. You go linear, which is real zoomed in, narrow, wide and super view. So normally you do super view for any kind of like mountain biking stuff. It just captures everything nice and wide, gets the whole bike, gets everywhere you're riding. But in all the previous GoPros in Super View, you could not use HYPERSMOOTH. You could not film in slow motion. You could not film in 4K. What's crazy about this one is you can do all 4 of those things. So this chest mount footage will be in 4K, be in HYPERSMOOTH, and in super wide. So that is pretty dang awesome. So let's get into it now. Here we go. Chest mount for a lap with a HYPERSMOOTH in Super View. Actually, it's also in 4K, which is crazy. The berm, blast the hip. Woo! Next berm. Berm to berm. Do a jump. Woo! Pumping berm. Woo! Last straight, here we go. Double manual. Jumping. Jumping. Woo! So we better do a couple jumps with the chest cam on too to see the difference. So jump in here. Over this wee hip. Bust the tape. Now we're gonna do a T-bog fly out. Woo! Real quick for the last clip on the chest mount, I'm gonna do that 450 again as well to compare it to the head one. You! Alright, what we're gonna do now guys is I've got the wee tripod set up over by this hip. I'm gonna use the GoPro app to grab a couple photos, show you how crisp the photos are you can get with this thing as well. So we're gonna do a couple taves or maybe euros in this hip. Alright guys, awesome. Hopefully you enjoyed those really crisp photos the GoPro can grab. It is so easy to shoot like magazine quality kind of photos with the GoPro. It's unreal. Real stoked on how this turned out. What we're gonna do now is do my favorite thing I've been looking forward to. So we've got the spinning mount helmet here. Gonna get this thing out. Gonna hook the GoPro onto the spinning mount, get this on my head and get a lap with the spinning mount. Should be good. Alright guys, got the spinning mount on. Feels pretty crazy in my head as always. Got people giving me funny looks, but stoked to try out the Hero 9 at the Pumptrack. All right, everyone, time to put the GoPro Hero 9 HYPERSMOOTH to the test on the DIY spinning mount at the Pumptrack. Here we go, give it a little spin, and we're in. First burp. Another burp. Pump up the burp. Now that double burp into the hip. Stays on the hip. Another rhythm section. Big 180 burp. Another section. A little bit on the gun jump. Woo. Chill section. Pumping. Alright, flash strike. Here we go. Manny. Double Manny. 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 Jump T-box. Woo! Heck yeah, how good was that? Alright guys, that is going to be it for the Pumptrack riding today. What I am going to do now is play a quick 10-second clip of the GoPro Hero 8 footage on the helmet and then on the chest side by side with the Hero 9 to sort of show you guys comparison to the HYPERSMOOTH. Sweet, so looking at that difference, you know, the Hero 8 was already amazing, but the Hero 9 is even better with the HYPERSMOOTH. It's pretty crazy how many more bumps it actually gets rid of. What we're gonna do now is move on to the next spot to test out the GoPro. Sweet guys, we're at the skate park now. Jonas is here as well. It's pretty busy being school holidays. What we're gonna do is have the GoPro on the helmet, get some HYPERSMOOTH lines going on, see what it's like for doing tricks and stuff. Should be pretty good. All right, first hits the skate park, the HYPERSMOOTH. Whoa, nearly hitting the kid, it's all good. Now it's getting pumping around, jumping, woo, turning around there, maybe get a little tire slide action on the go, to a tail tap, and a 270. Woo! Get another line on the go with the HYPERSMOOTH, 270 hip, yo, pump this little one. Manual quarter to bank. And 3 the pyramid. Into a tail tap maybe. To a 1-foot cam. Sweet guys, well stoked how smooth that looks. It's definitely smoother than the riding I'm actually doing. Like the HYPERSMOOTH on this is so good. And an extra bonus, we're actually filming in 2.7K right now. We can go up to 5K and keep the HYPERSMOOTH, which is pretty crazy. So what we're gonna do now, get the camera to Jonas. He's gonna film the same line but on foot to test the HYPERSMOOTH some more. Sweet guys, pretty dang unreal how smooth that looks. You can hear Jonas like walking and running. Usually when you run a camera's like this and that's just dead straight. So pretty dang cool, the HYPERSMOOTH 3. What we're gonna do now is try the HYPERSMOOTH, the feature the Hero 8 didn't have. That's the HYPERSMOOTH in super slow-mo. You get a nice slow-mo and 4K footage as well, which the Hero 8 couldn't do, on the quarter to bank of a nice tave. Wait. Sweet guys, super stoked on that really smooth slow-mo, pretty good tape. What I'm gonna do now is check the GoPro back on the helmet, do the table from the quarter to the bank again, because I actually land pretty rough on that, so this will really put the HYPERSMOOTH to the test. Camera's back on the helmet, the HYPERSMOOTH enabled. Gonna do this quarter to bank table again. It's pretty rough usually. Let's take a look. Tape. Woo! Hopefully that looks pretty smooth. Sweet guys, so I'm super stoked how smooth that looks, because in reality, like, I land and kind of go like this. And like, you can't tell at all. It looked like I landed perfectly smooth. So that is gonna be it for the skate park riding. What we're gonna do now is transition from this up into the mountains. Actually, you can't see them, the mountains up over there, the hills over there. Do some enduro riding on some trails, see what it looks like on the trail. Should be good. All right guys, we're at our next spot, which is actually the lunch spot. So we've been doing heaps of riding today, I need a bit of lunch. So we've got a delicious chili lamb kebab, which I'm psyched for. Some awesome fruit pie for my wife for a bit of dessert. And some lemonade soda stream for a drink, which is pretty good. I thought having lunch would be a perfect time to show you guys a new feature from the Gopro Hero 9 that the Hero 8 and none of the other GoPros had, and that is the filming in real time straight into time warp the back in real time. So right now we're in real time. What I'm going to do now is press a button that'll take us to time warp from eating my lunch, and at the end of lunch we'll press it again to go back to real time. So here we go into the time warp. Oh man, that was a super good lunch. I hope you guys really enjoyed that lunch laps. I thought it was kind of cool, kind of funny. Do let me know in the comments if you want some more lunch laps, kind of funny things and videos. What we're gonna do now that I'm filled back up, have heaps of energy again, is jump into the next spot. So here we go. All right guys, we made it to the next spot with the enduro bike. We're here in the hills in Gore, gonna check out the mountain bike tracks. So this park, there's a sign to come up here, I'll show you. This is the Hokanui mountain bike track, which is pretty cool. I did ride here once, actually like 2 years ago, and it was super wet and had a pretty bad time. So excited to ride it when it's dry, and real keen to get up there and have a look at some of the trails, ride some new trails the first time, so it should be good. So we'll see you back at the top of the trail. Sweet guys, we're somewhere up near the top. We've just found this wee drop, which I'm gonna roll now. Toss gonna roll behind me, should be good. Sweet man. Phew. Sweet, this time following Thomas. Phew. Sweet guys, so moved on to the next feature. Got this big drop here, the bike starts to hit this drop, come down here, fly down here into this like ladder bridge drop, which is pretty cool, and over this down to there. So yeah, Christian to get a couple of just non-point of view clips on that top drop, then this one, then I'll put the GoPro on to hit it. All right, Thomas hitting it for the first time. Yeah. Woo! Oh. Sweet. All right, starting in a point of view clip following Thomas on a smaller one. Phew. Oh, man, did not see that jump. Gonna do a whole top to bottom run of the jump line now. Starts off sort of tacky through the woods. Toss off that drop, so blind. Off that step down. Catching up to it. Woo! I gave you a bit of space on that, eh? Heck yeah. Whoa! Man! That stick shot up so high. Cuddy. Yo! Haha! All good? Sweet, back into it. Oh yeah. Muddy. Woohoo! What we're gonna do now is put the GoPro on Thomas's helmet. He's gonna follow me down, should be pretty good. I'm not sure. Yeah, get out of it. Yeah. Holy crap. Yeah. Oh man, heck yeah, that's sick. Sweet guys, hopefully you really enjoyed that enduro riding. I'm super stoked how well the HYPERSMOOTH and the follow cam clips turned out. I'm now going to get into some features that aren't necessarily riding related features. So the first one I want to get into is a super photo. So what I'm going to do now is go into the super photo photos I captured and compare them to the iPhone photos. Sweet, so the really awesome thing about the super photo is you can take these really scenic, super HD shots without having to edit the photo at all, because the GoPro actually takes in all the light, looks at the photo and edits it in a way that's best suited for the photo. And when you look at the comparison of my iPhone, so I've got an iPhone 7, it's pretty unreal how good a photos this thing gets. So really stoked on that feature. The last thing I want to show you guys is the sort of long exposure shots you can get. I really love taking long exposure shots of like stars and like, you know, those streaming cars going past the lights. I'm going to show you a couple of those now to show you how cool they look. Awesome, so those photos are pretty dang cool. What I'm going to get into now is my sort of review of the GoPro. So the Hero 9 overall, I actually really love this thing. The main things I like about it are the LCD front screen, because that's really cool. Because even right now I'm talking to you, I can see what I'm doing, and I'm doing vlogs, like looking at myself like this. I'll never cut my face out of the shot, which is pretty cool. It's also pretty convenient for seeing where it's pointing from your helmet. I also really like the HYPERSMOOTH 3. From the comparison with the Pumptrack, you know, the HYPERSMOOTH 3 is already way smoother, which is super cool. Additionally, something I do like is the improved wind sound. So there is still a lot of wind sound, which is a bit of a bummer, but it is improved from the Hero 8, which is cool. Another massive improvement from the Hero 8 that I really like is the improved battery life. So normally using my Hero 8, I'd have to take 2 batteries just to film one session, like at the Pumptrack or at the Enduro riding. And with this GoPro, I only charged the GoPro in the car driving between spots. And when I finished up for the day, it still had 18% battery, which is really, like, that's just incredible. Such good battery life on this thing. So that is a massive plus for me. Okay, so there were a couple things the Hero 9 I didn't end up testing out, which I'll hopefully test in future videos. The first one was filming in 5K video. So the reason why I didn't film in 5K is because, to be honest, there's just not a need for it for me. My computer doesn't really handle 5K footage super well, so I haven't filmed in that yet. If you really want it, leave a comment below and I can film the 5K to show you the difference. But 5K footage is pretty big and takes a lot of space in the computer, so I haven't done that yet. I also haven't used the horizon leveling, because you can use the horizon leveling on this in linear mode, but that's super zoomed in as I showed you, so it doesn't really have a purpose on the mountain bike. However, when the max lens comes out, I'll put a clip of the max lens now. So the max lens is the lens you can screw onto the GoPro. When that comes out, I will be purchasing and doing a video on that, because with that purchase, you get even wider super view, and you can use the horizon leveling in every setting, I'm pretty sure. So that'll be something to test in the future, which will be pretty cool and I'm looking forward to. But until then, I am really stoked with how the GoPro's turned out. Like the Hero 9, just overall super good quality, super good HYPERSMOOTH, the ultimate mountain biking camera in my opinion, and I highly recommend getting it. I am in no way sponsored by GoPro, but I just really love their products. You know, I just recommend them whether you're into BMX, mountain biking, scootering, skateboarding, like, or just like taking photos, whatever. This camera is flipping awesome and I highly recommend it. So in future, all my videos are going to be filmed on this thing, which is going to be pretty cool. So really looking forward to that. If you have any suggestions of things you'd like me to try with the Hero 9, leave in the comments below. But until then, that is going to be the end of the video. So be sure to leave a like for the video. Put a lot of effort into this one, testing the GoPro. Got it pretty early. Leave some comments what your favorite clip was maybe, and subscribe if you're new. We'll see you in the next one, team. Cheers.